Good morning, family. The following is the lesson for the 9th Sunday after Pentecost. The collect for today: Let the ears of thy mercy, O Lord, be open to the prayers of thy suppliants, and that thou mayest grant them their desires, make them to ask such things as please thee. The epistle from St. Paul to the Corinthians. Brethren, let us not covet evil things, as they also coveted. Neither become ye idolaters, as some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed fornication. And there fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them tempted, and perished by the serpents. Neither do you murmur, as some of them murmured, and were destroyed by the destroyer. Now all these things happened to them in figure, and they are written for our correction, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore, he that thinketh himself to stand, let him take heed lest he fall. Let no temptation take hold on you, but such as is human. And God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that which you are able, but will make also with temptation issue that you may be able to bear it. Can we sin by thought and desire? Yes. If we desire evil and forbidden things, or voluntarily think of them with pleasure, for God prohibits not only evil deeds, but evil thoughts and desires in regard to our neighbor's wife or goods. Christ says that he who looks upon a woman with evil desire has already committed adultery. But wicked thoughts and imagination are sinful only when a person consents to or entertains them deliberately. They become, however, an occasion of gaining merit if we earnestly strive against them. For this reason, God sometimes permits even the just to be tempted by them. What is meant by tempting God? Demanding presumptuously a mark or sign of divine omnipotence, goodness, or justice. The sin is committed when without cause we desire that articles of faith should be demonstrated and confirmed by new miracles. When we throw ourselves needlessly into danger of body or soul, expecting God to deliver us. When in dangerous illness, the ordinary and natural remedies are rejected, and God's immediate assistance is expected. Is it a great sin to murmur against God? That is to say, that it is such may be learned from the punishment which God inflicted on the murmuring Israelites. For besides Kor, Dathan, and Abiram, whom the earth devoured, many thousands of them were consumed by fire, and yet these had not murmured against God directly, but only against Moses and Aaron, whom God placed over them as their leaders. From this it is seen that God looks upon murmuring against spiritual and civil authority, instituted by him, as murmuring against himself. Hence Moses said to the Israelites, your murmuring is not against us, but against the Lord. Prayer. Purify my heart, I beseech thee, O Lord, from all evil thoughts and desires. Let it never enter my mind to tempt thee, or to be dissatisfied with thy fatherly dispensations. Suffer me not to be tempted beyond my strength, but grant me so much fortitude that I may overcome all temptations and even derive benefit from them for my soul's salvation. A continuation of the Holy Gospel according to Luke. At that time, when Jesus drew near Jerusalem, seeing the city, he wept over it, saying, If thou also hadst known, and that in this thy day the things that are to thy peace, but now they are hidden from thy eyes. For the days shall come upon thee, and thy enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and straiten thee on every side, and bear thee flat to the ground. And thy children who are in thee, and they shall not leave in thee a stone upon a stone, because thou hast not known the time of thy visitation. And entering into the temple, he began to cast out them that sold therein, and them that bought, saying to them, It is written, My house is the house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves. And he was teaching daily in the temple. Why did our Savior weep over the city of Jerusalem? Because of the ingratitude and obduracy of its inhabitants, who would not receive him as their Redeemer, and who thought impenitents were hastening to destruction. When was the time of visitation? The period in which God sent them one prophet after another who urged them to do penance, and whom they persecuted, stoned, and killed. It was especially the time of Christ's ministry, when he so often announced his salutary doctrine in the temple of Jerusalem, confirmed it by miracles, proving himself to be the Messiah, the Savior of the world, but was despised and rejected by this hardened and impenitent city. Who are prefigured by this hardened and impenitent city? The hard-hearted, unrepenting sinners who will not recognize the time of God's visitation, in which he urges them by the mouth of his preachers, confessors, and superiors, and by inward inspiration to reform their lives and seek the salvation of their soul, but who give no ear to these admonitions and defer conversion to the end of their lives. Their end will be like that of this impious city. Then the enemy, that is, the evil spirit, will surround their soul, tempt, terrify, and drag it into the abyss of ruin. Oh, how foolish it is to squander so lightly the time of grace, the days of salvation. Oh, how would the damned do penance could they but return to earth? Oh, how industriously would they employ the time to save their soul. Use then, my dear Christian, the time of grace which God designs for you, and which, when it is run out or carelessly thrown away, will not be lengthened for a moment. Will God conceal from the wicked that which serves for their salvation? No. But while they are running after the pleasures of this life, as St. Gregory says, they see not their misfortunes treading in their footsteps. And as consideration of the future makes them uncomfortable in the midst of their worldly pleasures, they remove the terrible thought far from them, and thus run with eyes blindfolded in the midst of their pleasure into eternal flames. Not God, but they themselves hide the knowledge of all that is for their peace, and thus they perish. Prayer. I beseech thee, O Lord, who didst weep over the city of Jerusalem, because it knew not the time of its visitation, to enlighten my heart, that I may know and profit by the season of grace.